Hello ladles and jelly spoons, and welcome back to another spooky video in celebration of Halloween week. In recent videos I've talked about my favourite horror movies and popular scary TV shows, and it's pretty obvious why these can be scary thanks to special effects and good writing. However, it doesn't take Hollywood production, a highly paid cast, a stellar script, or even moving pictures to scare the living daylights out of somebody. So today I'm going to be showing you the scariest pieces of classical art that I've ever seen. Something about these images just has a way of making you feel uneasy and unsettled, and gives me personally a sense of anxiety that I just can't explain. So trigger warning, these pictures are going to put you on edge, and to be quite honest, are probably cursed. So if you start to notice weird circumstances surrounding you over the next few days, don't blame me, you've been warned. Number 6 is Frida Kahlo, the girl with the death mask. Frida Kahlo was born in 1907 in Mexico City and unfortunately passed away in 1954. So in pop culture, Kahlo is probably most well known for her aesthetic, namely her distinctive monobrow. However, she also has a very impressive portfolio of amazing artwork. She often paints her works in a way that makes you feel uneasy and you just can't put your finger on why. There's something wrong with the pictures themselves, and there's just so much going on that you can't pick out what is the most creepy part. And I chose this particular painting because there's just something so creepy about the expression on the child's macabre skull face that just made it much more creepy than her other paintings. Number 5 is Rene Magritte, The Lovers 2. Magritte was born in 1989 in Belgium and died in November 1967. Magritte is by far my favourite artist of all time, and I was lucky enough to attend the Magritte Museum in Belgium just last year, and I was overwhelmed by the sheer vastness of his works. Despite being a fan for many years, I wasn't actually aware of how many paintings he did have, especially how many creepy paintings that he made. And not all of his art is particularly scary per se, but it is all very unsettling. He really is the master of putting things where they don't belong and just making you feel uneasy for reasons that you can't explain. Number 4 is Francis Bacon, Study after Velasquez's Portrait of Innocent X. This has the longest title of a painting I've ever known and is really difficult for me to pronounce. Bacon was born in October 1909 and passed away in April 1992. All of Bacon's art is along the same vein, mostly being portraits made in this dark style with scratchy paint strokes. So it was hard to choose the creepiest, as they're all kind of the same level of creepy, but there's just something about the subject's facial expression in this particular work that just doesn't sit well with me at all. Number 3 is Salvador Dali, The Face of War. Dali was born in May 1904 in Spain and died in January 1989. This is one of many surrealist works by Dali, and it really is hard to decide which is his scariest work because most of it is quite frankly terrifying. And many surrealist works kind of almost look bizarre for the sake of it. However, Dali's paintings really play with your emotions and create a sense of primal unease that's just hard to explain. Number 2, I apologise if I butcher this name, but it is Edvard Munch, The Scream. Munch was born in December 1863 in Norway and died in January 1944. In my opinion, The Scream is Munch's only truly creepy painting, although he does create his artwork in the same kind of unusual style. The painting has a very personal meaning to me because I remember back in primary school, our headmistress, in a bid to kind of teach us about high culture, she was really into her art and classical music. she thought it would be a good idea to hang a copy of this painting in this particular hallway, which was already super creepy. It was long and dark and cold, and we had to get through this hallway to get to our gym class. And she thought it would be a good idea to hang this painting up in this place that already terrified the life out of me. So I remember having to go through this corridor and look away and just dash past the painting because it just absolutely put the creeps up me. And number one, by far the creepiest painting I've seen in my entire life. I'm not going to be able to pronounce the artist's name, so I do apologise, but I believe it's Zdzislaw Bakinski, and the painting is called The Night Creeper. So Zdzislaw was born in February 1929 and died in February 2005. So he's the kind of most recent living of all the artists. And all of his paintings were made in a kind of Baroque or Gothic style. And if you get the chance, I suggest that you read upon his life and his kind of outlook on life, because he seems like a really creepy but really fascinating person. And it's hard to believe that the paintings were made by him, because if you look at a picture of him himself, he looks like a cute, cuddly little granddad. And I just can't imagine somebody like him creating these pieces of terrifying artwork, literally the most terrifying paintings I have ever seen. And I spent a lot of time looking at them last night in preparation for this video, and I'm really surprised I didn't just have all of the nightmares, because they are so scary. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that if you look up the history of these paintings, that none of them are actually said to be cursed, and that's because there's absolutely no proof that curses actually exist. So if you believe this tale, and that's more on you than it is on me, so don't sue me. So if you found these paintings as scary as I did and you're interested in spooky videos in general and spooky content, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share and all of that nonsense.